morning on a chilly, sleepy, what is it, it's a Friday, I think. Get out of there. You don't need to get in there. She's getting into things she shouldn't be getting into. But anyway, it's a sleepy, chilly Friday morning. Eyes are not awake yet. Neither's Kaylee. She's yawning a lot. But it is day 27. I should go back in the house and just wake up. But there is too much to do. Today, with what we've got on the docket, I don't know how far we're going to get in the hunt. Today is Pneumatic Day. I've got to run some airlines from the, one airline from the compressors in the shop out to this side of the hunt to an air storage tank, and then I need to run two lines off of it, one to the hammer and clown here and one to the jack in the box. I also have a small air compressor that goes over on the side of the house. I need to get it over there. I need to do some maintenance on it first, get it over on the side of the house and run a line for that arch, get that arch up and working. After all the airlines are ran, I get to have fun wiring the pneumatics. I've got sensors for 3 control boards. I need to get power lines to them. I got a water blaster that goes in the barrel in the hammer and clown. I've got all their solenoids and actuators and everything I gotta get installed. It's gonna take a while. So I don't know how far we're gonna get. We might just get those 3 pneumatics done and call it quits for the day. I don't know. If it does go by quick, and I'm hoping it does, and it never does. Every year it takes forever. I can get in here and we gotta get spots and stuff, got all the low voltage in this hallway set up. That's our aim for today. Now, breakfast of the day, we're going fruity, and I mean we're going really fruity. We have a big tall glass of orange juice, a handful of grapes, some sliced peaches, and to that you're going to add some sliced nectarines with a little bit of brown sugar, mix it all up. So you'll have kind of like a mini fruit salad. And we'll add some diced bananas to it. That actually sounds really good. I don't have any of it in the house. So you're going to have basically a small fruit salad for breakfast. Peaches, nectarines, grapes, and bananas in a bowl with brown sugar with a tall glass of orange juice to go with it. So there's your breakfast of the day. I know it's not much of an opening. I'm rambling more than I am anything else. That's because I'm still half asleep, even though I got a good 8 hours sleep last night. But Kaylee and I need to get to work. Huh? Do we got to go to work, Kaylee? No, Dad. Time to go back to bed. Hello. Figured I'd give you a segment. Just getting done with lunch. I wanted to show you what we did for lunch and what I didn't do before lunch. We started off with the pneumatic end of it, maintaining the air compressors. Now I have 3 air compressors, a little 10-gallon one, and then this is my main air compressor here, and I believe that's a 29-gallon. And then we have a storage tank, which is an old compressor. The pump and the motor fried on them. And then I've got that one, which I rehabilitated. Had the pump was still good, but the motor was shot. And if I remember right, it was a pump on this one that went out on me, but the motor was still good. So I, over the course of the year, came in and moved the motor over here. We got plugged in, went to test fire it and check its oil, and the motor was kicking over, running, for about 5-10 seconds, and then tripping the breaker. Finally messing with it enough, the motor sent out some, we call it blue smoke, but the motor fried on it. I don't know if there was something wrong with the compressor or the motor, But the compressor is turning out. I think I'm going to take this thing in after the season and have it professionally gone over and ran. So it's basically a 30-gallon storage tank. So we're only going to be using two, my little 10-gallon and that one. That one charges this tank, it charges that tank, and then it charges several other tanks we have throughout the haunt. Once we got our maintenance done, we started running air lines. I've got two air lines coming off of that storage tank. This one feeds into that one and into that one. One air line comes out and runs down the driveway, which is a disaster. I got power cords and crap all over the place since I'm doing electrical. But it ends here at this storage tank. This is an 11-gallon storage tank. And I've got a 3-way nipple on it, so I can hook up 3 different air lines to it. I'm only going to use 2 of the ports. One port, and that's these here. These are a port. Will go to the hammer and clown. The other port will go to the jack in the box. And that's all that one runs. Or, no, feeds. The other airline comes out, runs down the back of the patio, and over to the side of the house. Now this one ends up in these 2 tanks, and I daisy chained it. I put another 3-way port connector on it. One port's going into this tank, which is an 11-gallon. This one here where the main line's feeding in is an old 10-gallon air compressor where the pump and the motor failed on it. So I saved it, used it for a storage tank. Effectively, with all the storage tanks and everything, I've got about 70 pounds worth of air stored, or 70 gallons worth of air stored. Now, this one will be feeding probably the attack spider and little loudmouth turning on over there. Give it just a sec. That air compressor has a very slow leak in the tank or something. There's a leak somewhere in the line. But anyway, this air compressor here, 1 port or 2 ports are going to be feeding the spider. I got the jumper and the attack spider. This tank, on the other hand, is going to be feeding the pirate, the stand-up pirate, plus the 2 water blasters I have in the water room. Now this air compressor here only runs one thing, and that's the arch with the air blasters in it. And I have it set for 90 pounds. Now I'm turning it down just a hair. So it's at about 90 or 89 pounds, just a tad. But anyway, I got that all ran, and then I ran an air line out to the arch. So it's charged, ready for firing. Now that's going to be my first pneumatic. That's the most simple, straightforward pneumatic I currently have hooked up. I'm going to go out and get the brain box, control board, whatever you want to call it, set up on that one, get it working. So that prop's done. Then I can unplug that air compressor over there, which will be nice. But sorry, it's a lot of walking getting around. But the air line runs down the front, from the compressor down the side of the house, across the front of the house, and comes out here. And I think Swan's gonna creepy cloth it or something off the back to help hide that once I get all my wiring and stuff done. My control box for it, which is right here, the graveyard box, sits up on top and then gets one of these. These are the sensors that fire that. I've got to run a power line from the power station up to it, which will be sitting right up there. and then make my connections and test fire it. And we'll see how things go from there. But that's my next step, is I gotta get that one wired and stuff. Once that's up and working, we've got 2 air lines to run off the tanks on the driveway, one for the hammer and clown, and another one that drops into here on the other side of the wall for the jack-in-the-box. And I'm not sure which one of those we're going to tackle first. Probably the jack-in-the-box. The hammer and clown, while the pneumatics on it are simple, I've got a couple other things to do with that one. I got to get hay into it. I'm going to go ahead and get the liner into the pond, and a couple of other things. There's, you know, some other things I need to do in that display. So I'll probably do that one last. It will take the longest to do, but it's going to take even longer if I don't shut up and get to work. Well, I spent most of the day working on pneumatics. Last segment I showed you my air tanks and stuff. We've got 2 done. The arch here is one that's done. I do not have it turned on now because of the noise it's making. You know, I made it to make the noise, so it's nothing wrong, except it's freaking the dog out every time it goes off. I figure she's going to have a week of listening to that when we open. So we'll give her a break. Over here, I just finished the jack-in-the-box. And he goes back down. So that's 2 done, and Sue Ann came in here after I got the straw in and put some dead plants in out of the back garden. And those will look nice by the time we open. Last one to do, and it's the biggest pain in the ass out of the 3. It's the hammer and clown. Hooking the clown up and getting him going is the easy part. That's easy. It's a fact that I've got basically 3 different things going on here, 4 different things. I've got 5. I've got the head on the clown that turns back and forth. He just plugs into power. I've got the hammer that raises and lowers. I've got a water blaster inside the barrel that needs to get installed. And then I gotta get him hooked up to 5 volt and also tied in. Okay, so I've got all that to do. And while I'm in here working on this, I've also figured I'm gonna put the liner in. It's not on the grass, so I can put the liner in, and Sue Ann can do a rope thing here, and we'll have it all sealed off. Now the problem I'm having is the cement. It's chipped and it's rough. And if we have to get in there for any reason, walking on the liner on that's gonna pop the liner. So I've got some scrap plywood in the shop, 8 foot long, 1 foot wide. I'm going to cut it down to fit inside the frame, and we're going to put that in and then put the liner in on top of it. I'll help protect the bottom of the liner just a little bit. So, you know, with everything going on, this is probably going to take me the rest of the evening to get done, and I don't know if I'll even get it done today. It might be, you know, I'll get most of it done and finish it off in the morning. I don't know. But we are going to see how far we can get and give it a college try. It's going on about 6:30, and Sue Ann just called dinner. We've made a little bit of progress. So far, I got power to him. And he kicks the wall and stuff. We also got the fencing down. I've got the air line ran. I've got the head plugged in. It does work. I did test it before I plugged it in. And I'm just now getting ready to run the 12 volt line. In fact, I've started running it. I'll finish it after dinner. The 12 volt line will come in, power the board and the solenoids and pneumatics and what have you in here. So we're making progress. It just takes a while to get all the wiring and everything ran. It's going on about 8:30. And I better turn off this dang headlamp so I don't blind you too much. I'm about ready to call it quits. In fact, I am ready to call it quits. Came out after dinner and we did a little bit more work out here. We did have a late dinner, so I've only been out here about 45 minutes or so. I'm going to call it quits. Friday Night SmackDown, aka wrestling's on, and I'm going to go in and spend some time with Morgan. But we did get out here. I got my 12-volt line ran. I got the solenoids, the switches for the pneumatics put in. They're just not tied up to the brain yet. And a problem I thought I was going to have, I did. When I built this guy, I built him so he would wobble a little bit as the hammer went up and down. And that is causing a problem. When the hammer is coming down, he wobbles forward, he's hitting the tent. And going down and then hitting the tent again, going back up. Right now it's no big deal, but after 8 nights of this thing going on, it's going to beat the hell out of that tent frame. So what I ended up doing was destroying one of my wall panels. I punched a hole, 2 holes in. You really can't see it, can you? There you go. That's a little bit better. So I punched 2 holes in there. There you go. Now you can see it. And ran a cord through to the center bar on my partition wall and just tightened it up. So he is sucked back toward the wall a bit. Now when the hammer swings, it doesn't hit the tent. There you go. Get you a better view. I was pointing you off over there, wasn't I? But now the hammer doesn't hit the tent. So that works. I also adjusted the speed on the hammer. He was coming down real fast with it and then going back up real fast with it too. And I was doing that again to make him wobble, which is what I originally wanted. This year it's going to come down quick and go up slower. So I adjusted him a little bit. Now I do have a second solenoid on there, and that's for the water blaster that goes in here. I just don't have it plumbed in yet, and I won't until after the liner's in. But with it there, I can still get it programmed for the boo box that goes right there. Scuba boo box, sorry. And I'm blinding you again, turning off the headlamp. But anyway, that's pretty much as far as we got on this display. That means first thing tomorrow morning, we'll hop out here, work on this, and we'll get the brain box in, get everything timed, the sensor in, get some hay in here in this display here in the back to help cover the wires. We've got to get the liners in, get this guy plumbed. He actually has a water blaster that goes in there, plus there's a water pump and a pipe that feeds water from the pond into the bucket. That's got to get plumbed in as well. Those things I cannot do, like I said, until after the liner's in. So we'll work on that tomorrow, and it's probably going to take us a good chunk of the day tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see. It could end up going real quick, or it could take all goddamn day. I've had it happen with this prop. Even though the hard part's pretty much done, he's all dialed in and ready to go. I just need to give him a brain. Anyway, stay tuned for your end of the day wrap up. I'm going to go get packed up and call it quits for the night. Okay, boys and girls, end of the day wrap up. I didn't get quite as far as I wanted. I was hoping to have the hammer and clown display done, but we didn't make it. And I probably could have made it a hell of a lot further if I stuck with it. It's getting cold. It's getting to the point where I can see my own breath at times. So it's just time to call it quits. We got started today. We did some maintenance on the air compressors, got the main air lines and storage tanks put in. We got that arch finished and it works beautifully. We also got the jack in the box done and it's working beautifully. And we got a really good, healthy start in on the Hammering Clown. Most of it right now, we're down to getting the brain box in, lining the pond, you know, and that sort of thing. You know, it's the brain box is an important part, and then lining the pond is just, you know, the last minute things for that display that need to get done. I can write it off and be done with it. On the docket for tomorrow, that Hammering Clown. We're going to get that display done, and then we're going to move in here to the courtyard and start getting it wired, which should be a quick one. We might make it into the Gypsy display. I don't know how far we'll get, though, in the Gypsy. That's the problem. We'll have to wait and see. But if all things go as according to plan, we should be into Gypsy by tomorrow night. Gotta be nice to get the Gypsy totally done. I doubt that's going to happen. I doubt that highly, but we are going to give it a try. With that, stay spooky, stay toxic.